Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video we're gonna be making this crop sweater here, and as you guys can see, very simple, using very simple stitch, so nothing too complicated. I did a mesh middle here for both the front and the back. So as you can see, there's a mesh strap that runs on each side, and I did that for the sleeves as well. So if you look at the sleeves, it does have a mesh stripe that runs on top of your shoulder like that. Okay, so nice, just something different. I did my neckline to be really wide, and you will see in the pictures that it can go over your shoulders, and it looks very nice and stylish. So yeah, this is what we're gonna be working on. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, so before we get this project started, I'm going to show you all the materials that I used for it. And as you can see, I have my yarn here. This is Azurite 100% acrylic, and this color number is 3025, but red. And also it's 50 grams for this skein. You're going to need about 4-5-ish skeins like this, and it's about 140 meters for each skein like this. And recommended hook size is 3.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, so that's what we're using. You can obviously use any yarn of your type or of your liking. And I'm going to be using a 5 millimeter crochet hook, which is an H8 US, just a preference for when I use this yarn. Scissors here to cut our strands, a darning needle to join our panels, and some stitch markers, as well as a tape measure to determine our size. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay my lovelies, so before we get this project started, I'm gonna quickly talk to you about sizing. So as you know, these from the pictures I showed, this is a crop top, kind of like oversized sweater. Okay, so a crop sweater that is oversized, and so you're just gonna make a number of or the length of the one panel is going to be as long as you want it, but of course be aware you need to measure yourself so that you can make it bigger than that. Okay, so take your tape measure and measure the circumference of your torso just a little bit higher than your belly button, and then when you get that, you're gonna divide it by 2. Let's say it's 40, you're gonna divide that by 2, and you're gonna make this part of the project, that is the first part, that is going to be at least more than that, because it has to be buggy. You're gonna probably do, let's say instead of doing 20 inches, let's say you do 30 inches, so that it creates the bugginess of the sweater. Okay, so I'm gonna start by doing a slip knot here so we can start the first part, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about how buggy it's gonna be as we go. So I'm gonna do a chain of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is going to be a little bit of a small width of the band that goes in the bottom of the sweater. Okay, so I'm going to skip that 7th stitch, and in the second one to the left, I'm going to go ahead and do a half double crochet in the back of the foundation chain like that. The chain that you skip here does not count as a stitch, and then you're going to go into the back of the chain and complete a second half double crochet, and then in the third, and then you're going to do all the way to the end of the chain, which is just right here. By the time that you finish that, you should have 6 stitches all together. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly finish here, and I show you how to do the second row. That would be a repeat row for this part. Okay, so like that. So this is going to be the width of your bottom of the sweater here. If you want it to be wider, then do more chains at the beginning. If you want it to be even smaller, you could do half of these chains if you wanted to. Okay, to start row 2, we're going to do a chain of 1 and turn, and that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And then in this next stitch right here, you're going to go ahead and grab the back loop and complete a half double crochet, and then you're going to go into the next stitch and grab the back loop and do a half double crochet, and then you're going to do this all the way through the 6 stitches. What I do for the final stitch here, instead of going through the back loop, I just go through both loops to complete my stitch. So I go through both loops to complete my half double crochet. So that's our row 2, and then we chain 1 and turn, and then we just repeat what we did again and again and again and again until you come up to, let's say for example, the 30 inches worth of this band here. Okay, because we're making it really buggy, you can make it as buggy as you want. or as less baggy as you want it to look like. So that is my third row here, and I'll do one more just to show you guys, and then I will have you guys build this part of the project until you have what you need. And remember, this is only for one panel. We're gonna do 2 panels exactly identical. Okay, so don't forget that. So I'm about to go to the end of my 4th row here. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is the ribbing effect that is created by going through the back loop to complete our half double crochet. So you're gonna do this until you have what you need. I'm gonna do the same, and for me, because I measure to fit, I will just keep measuring it and keep putting it against my body to see if it has the effect of the looseness that I want. And then when I have that, I'm gonna come back to the video to show you guys how long I have done it, and I'll tell you guys how many rows I did it. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed what I think I need here. I did about 36 rows of this as all together, and as you can see, this is really stretchy. So if I bring my tape measure here, if I place it here without stretching it at all, it comes up to 15 inches. Okay, and also, just so you know, my waist, or the circumference of my waist of my torso, is 32 inches. So if I take that 32 and divide it by 2, I have 16, and as you can see, I'm already at 15 without stretching this. And so if I place it straight like this and then stretch it, you will see how wide it can go. As you can see, it goes to about 21 inches if I really stretch it. So that is wide enough for me to know that it is going to be a baggy sweater, or like a loose sweater on me. Okay, so you're gonna do the same, and also keep in mind the next set of stitches that we do here will actually increase our work as well. So this part of it is actually gonna be a tiny bit snatched in the bottom of your sweater, and the rest of it is gonna kind of flare out, and I will tell you why that is and how that is going to become like that. So I'm gearing up here to start the next part of the project with you guys. Okay, so I have my 36 inches, or my 36 rows. You will have whatever number of rows that you need, or you need it for your size. And also, just so you guys know as well, I'm a small medium. Okay, okay, so now where I stopped here with my 36 row, I'm going to do a chain of 2. This chain of 2 counts as a double crochet. Okay, and I'm going to go right into this gap up here, and I'm going to complete a second double crochet. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into this gap right here and complete a double crochet, and then into this gap right here, I'm gonna go in and complete a double crochet. Okay, so you will go on and just do double crochets in these gaps here. Okay, and the way I determine where I go with my stitches is, you will see that this bump here is consistent of 2 rows of the half double crochets. The same thing here, the same thing here, the same thing here. So when we go into it like this, we are actually placing double crochets in the valley, in this section and in this section. So there's 3 double crochets that go into this area here. So at the end, it's going to increase our work quite a bit. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and just work your double crochets all the way to the end right here. And when you get there, come back to the video and I'll show you what to do next. But I'm gonna make a quick correction right here. So as you can see, I did my chain of 2. I'm actually gonna go into this space here and do my first double crochet, and then the chain 2 counts as 1. Okay, just because I kind of skipped that area, so it looked a little bit off. So now it looks better like this. Okay, so go ahead and complete your double crochets, just making sure they are close to each other like this, and making sure they're not too gapped in together. In actuality, they're not going into the same hole, but you're making sure that they're not very gappy as well. Okay, so they're very nice and neat together like this. And when you have completed this row, come back to the video and I will show you what to do for the second row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my first row of double crochets here. Okay, now I have counted my stitches. I have 68 stitches all together here. Okay, Again, like I said, all you will have to just place your stitches on each and every one of these, but this one will contain 3, and somehow I ended up coming up with 68, which I'm okay with. I don't want to find out the logic why I came up to 68, but I just know that I increased it from the 36 that I had previously to 68. Okay, so that's where we have that. And so what I'm going to do, oh, and I put the stitch markers where I'm going to do a different pattern in the middle here. We're going to do a mesh. So what I did was I took the 68 stitches that we have. I subtracted 12, which is the middle here. That left me with 58 of the side, 56. And then I took that 56 and divided it by 2, and it gave me 28. So I have 28 stitches here, 28 stitches here, and 12 stitches in the middle. Okay. So now I'm gonna show you. So I put my stitch marker just so I know where to do my double crochets to, and then where I'm gonna do the mesh and where I continue the double crochets. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and do a chain of 2 here, and then that counts as a double crochet. And in the next stitch, I'm going to complete a normal double crochet, and then I'm gonna go to the next stitch and complete a double crochet. And again, here nothing changes. It's just the same as we did in the previous row until we get to the stitch marker, and then we will go ahead and do the mesh in the middle. Okay, so for now, just go ahead and work your double crochets to the stitch marker, and then come back to the video. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my 28 stitches here. As you can see, I removed the stitch marker where it was right here, so that's my 28th stitch. And then I'm going to do a mesh in the middle here. So to do the mesh, I just do a chain of 1, skip a stitch. In the next stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch. In the next stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch. In the next stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch. In the next stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch. In the next stitch, do a double crochet. 1 2 3 4 5. I have 5 boxes of that, and then I'm gonna do my 6th one. So chain 1, skip a stitch, and in the next stitch do a double crochet. So this is my 12 stitches in the middle here. Okay, I'm gonna remove the stitch marker because that was marking where I don't go into my 28th stitch on this side. So I remove my stitch marker and I just work the double crochets as per normal on the other side. And then I just continue to repeat this pattern until I have my length, the length of my crop top, okay, or my crop sweater. So from here on, I just do my normal double crochets, okay? And the mesh section in the middle is actually, it's not mandatory to do that. If you want to just have yours going solid, then all you will have to do is just do the normal double crochets across, okay? But I do the mesh in the middle just to kind of create a style there, okay? So go all the way to the end, all the way here. When you get there, come back to the video. I will show you how to do one more row. Actually, do this. Go all the way to this end, okay? Do your final double crochet on top of that double chain 2 that we did to do a double crochet. And then do chain 2 turn, and then work yourself back. When you get back to here, come back so I can show you how to work the next mesh, and then I will explain how you continue to work the rest of it, okay? I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead here and completed the 3rd row. So as you can see, I went like this, and then I went back to the middle. So I'm gonna go and show you guys how to do the mesh again here in case you did not know how to do that, okay? So after you have done your final double crochet on top of this double crochet, you do a chain 1, and then you skip the chain 1 space, and then on top of the double crochet you will complete a double crochet, and then chain 1, skip the chain 1 spot, go on top of the double crochet and do a double crochet, chain 1. And then again, as you see, we just repeat this, and it creates this mesh in the middle here. And you will do this in every row. So every row you will do your double crochets, which is 28 stitches on one side. And then when you get to the middle, you will do the next 12 stitches in the mesh. And then you will pick up on the other side and do the remaining 28 stitches in just normal solid double crochet, just like this. Okay, so it should look something like that. And as you can see as well, because of the increases we did on the band here to make it wider, it does fold in our work like this. It kind of curves it in like that. And this is because the top here is gonna end up being a lot wider, right? So as you can see, it's already kind of getting wider. It's not gonna continue to increase like this because we're not increasing anymore. It's gonna stabilize itself, but this is gonna be the length of it like this. So it's gonna stabilize itself up like this. Okay, so work until you have what you want. So because it is a crop sweater, I'm not gonna do too many rows. I'm gonna do about 10 to 12 inches, including the little band here. And then that should be enough for me to have it as a crop top. So do as many rows as you need for it to be a crop sweater for you. And whatever that is, then come back to the video, okay? I will see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and did the length that I want for my crop sweater here. So as you can see, this is how my first panel looks. This is the bottom that we did here. As you can see, the curviness of it, it was like this when we started, but the more we work, more stitches, more rows, the more it's gonna stabilize itself up like this. So as you can see, this is how one panel looks like, okay? So just in terms of measurements, I did, how many rows? I did 26 rows here, excluding the band, obviously. So there's 26 rows altogether like that. So if I take my tape measure to see how long it is, let's put it here like this. Yeah, so I'm at a little, it's about 12 inches, okay? So I'm at about, yeah, 12 inches like this for the width. And if I measure the length, it's about 18 inches. Okay, so that's the 18 inches is the wideness of it. And as you remember, I told you earlier, I am a 32 comfortable, a 32 measurement for the torso, and this being 18, that means for two pieces, it's gonna be 36. Okay, so I am about 4 inches bigger than my size, which is why it's a baggy or it's a loose crop sweater. Okay, so this is it here. At the end, I finished it off by cutting it a little bit longer like this because we're gonna need to join the two panels on the top here, and then of course the sides as well. But so far this is just to join the top here, so I don't cut it too long. So go ahead and complete your second panel like this, and then when you have the second, come back. I will probably just not show you guys how to do the sleeves because the sleeves will be done exactly the same, except it's not as many rows as we do here. So I will probably finish a sleeve off camera as well, so I can come back and explain to you guys how to do it, but the pattern is exactly the same as this. Okay, I will see you guys when you have your second panel. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my second panel here. So as you can see, this is the first one that we completed. I went ahead and duplicated exactly the same way to have the second one. And as you can see, this is pretty much my two panels for the body here completed. Okay, the same thing I did with the bottom. I just did the cutting so that I leave some yarn to be able to join. The trickiness with this is after you've cut it off, they're gonna end on the same side, which means when you join them, you're gonna make sure you lay them on top of each other so that the string is on the opposite side of the other. That way you can join it like that. Okay, so I also said I was gonna do the sleeve and then come back and explain to you guys how to do the sleeve because it's the same as this. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm gonna put these two panels on the side so we can talk about the sleeves. So as you guys can see, this is the sleeve here. I did it exactly the same as the body, except I did less rows. Okay, so for beginners, I did 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. I did 24 rows. I did 24 rows here. So as you guys remember, I did 36 for the body, and so for these I did 24. And this is gonna create a baggy sleeve for me. As you guys can see, I have a very small wrist. So when we fold this like this to create our sleeve, this is pretty much how baggy it's gonna be. As you can see, it's pretty loose like that. Okay, so after doing my 24 rows here, I went ahead and did the exact same logic for working our first row of double crochets here. And then whatever that number came to, I divided it. I removed the 12 rows for the mesh, and then I divided the remaining in half. And this is what I did here for the sleeves. I did work, let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I have 21 on this side, which means I have 21 on this side, which is 42, plus the 12 here, I have 54. So altogether here, my first part here was 54 stitches. And then I worked all the way up until I have the length of my sleeve. So if you put it like this, as you can see, this is my shoulder right here, and it goes down to here. And we know that this is gonna end this, the body is gonna cover this part here, because it's a buggy one, it's gonna probably come all the way down here. So I did pretty much that length here. So if we talk about measurements, then so let's go in inches again. If I measure here, is 13 inches across for the width of the sleeve, and then if we measure the length of it, it's about 16 inches. So right here is 0, and then it goes down to 16 right here. Okay, so I have 16 inches and 13 inches across. Okay, so I will go ahead and work on my second sleeve because I have my first one completed here. So I will just end the work. And for you guys, obviously, you will go ahead and do both of them at this point because, and for this, I'm going to just cut it so that I can join it from here to here. So we're going to cut it somewhere here. Okay, and then slip stitch like this. Okay, so go ahead and work on both of your sleeves using this logic that I just explained here. When you have both the two, I'm gonna finish my second one, and when I have both, I'm gonna come back to the video, and then all we have to do is assemble our work, put it together, and then we will be done. Okay, so I will see you guys when I have completed my second sleeve, when you have completed your two sleeves. Okay, my lovelies, I have gone ahead and completed my second sleeve. So this is the one that we completed together here. Well, not together, I did this offline. So this is the first one that I completed. This is my second one that I just finished now. And as you guys can see, they're exactly identical in terms of size and everything. So you have to literally do 4 sleeves, 2 of them being exactly the same and the other 2 being exactly the same. Okay, so this is it here. These are my 2 sleeves completed. These are our 2 body sleeves completed. And so all we have to do is just do the joining. And so I'm gonna talk to you guys about joining. So let's put the sleeves on the side for a little second. And so for the body, if you have positioned your panels together like this, what I do is I just count out how many stitches on each that I would like to join. And then, and I'm not gonna do too many because I want this crop sweater to have a really wide neckline, so it cannot kind of fall off my shoulders when I have it on, okay? So the first thing that I will do is I will just count out how many stitches I will do. So let's say I will go up to here. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna grab a stitch marker and put it on that 10th stitch right there. And I'm gonna count out 10 on this side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm gonna just loop it over on the other side and put a slit and put a stitch marker on it. And then I'll count out 10 on this side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Grab my stitch marker, put it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And put my stitch marker there. Okay, so this is how much I'm gonna close here. Okay, I'm gonna pretty much shut this by sewing it, do the same on the other side, and then we will join the sleeves to it. Okay, so we grab our stitch marker, our darning needle, we put the yarn that we left hanging, loop it through, and then you're just gonna line your work up nice and neat like this. Keep in mind, this is your first stitch right here, so you have to find your loop at the beginning of this stitch right here. So you're gonna go through the first here, and on the other side you're going to grab this here because that is the top of this stitch right here. Okay, and then you're gonna pull that through. you're gonna go, I'm gonna go, you could do the same, go it one more time into the same hole, loop your yarn around like this, and this is gonna just secure this section here. It's gonna make it look like we did a slip knot or slip stitch here. Okay, and then for the remaining of the 9 stitches, you're just gonna grab the loop, 2 loops on this side and then the 2 loops on the other side, and you're just gonna go through and make sure you're bringing this loop along with you like this. And don't pull too much, because if you pull too much, it's gonna wrinkle up your work. So you're just gonna do it a little bit like this, and then go into the next, a little bit like that, a little bit like this. Okay, so very simple, very easy. Don't pull too much, don't make it too loose. And keep in mind, the 9th or the 10th stitch is where the stitch marker is. So we're going to remove the stitch marker to do our final stitch right there. And as you guys know, I go twice into the last one, just like I did at the beginning. Loop my yarn around, and this makes it look like I did a slip stitch right here. And then pull my yarn, take it out. Okay, so this is how this side looks like. The side that we just joined, very nice and neat. And the opposite side looks pretty much the same. It looks like there's no seam there. It looks like it's just part of your stitches, and that's what you want to aim for. So now flip your work on the other side, do the exact same thing here. And when you have both this side and the other side completed, come back to the video and I will show you how to join the sleeves to the sweater body. Okay, see you guys in a minute. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined both sides here. Okay, so now we just have this vest type looking thing that is with a wide neckline here. Okay, I left the strings for the joining hanging still in case we need to make any corrections to how much we're doing here. And the reason I do this usually is so that when I have joined that, I can try it on and I will see if this is looking appropriate or looking good on my neckline. If it's not, I will either increase by doing more, sewing more closed, or removing some. But for now, I'm going to leave it like that, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys a way that I usually do to make it easy for joining panels like this. What I do is I flip it like this, okay? So we know this is where our neckline is going to go. I flip it like this, so that I can take a sleeve. So I'm gonna remove one of these guys here, and I'm gonna place it like this. I'm gonna place it so that I have it exactly in the middle of this area here. Okay, something like this. And you can measure to see how many stitches you have from here to the middle, and then from here to the middle to make sure they're equal sides. And then you can put a stitch marker to hold it in place. So if I do that all the way to the middle where I sewed it here, okay, it's about 7.5 inches. And if I go from that same spot to the end, it's only 7. So we have to shift it a little bit like this, a little bit onto this side like this, so that both sides is gonna be equal. And then you just kind of work. So now I have 7 on this side, and I have 7 on this side. Okay, so 14, there's 14 inches here altogether, so I have exactly equal number of stitches from one side to the other. So what I do then, I take my stitch markers, I go, okay, this here needs to be, yeah, it's on camera. Okay, this part here needs to be around here, so I just put a stitch marker there. Then I go, this side needs to be around here. I take a stitch marker and I stitch that there. The other way that you can do as well is count the number of rows you have here to make sure they're equal on this side and they're equal on that side, and then put your stitch markers where it's appropriate, and then that's good. And then what you do is you just flip this like this, and so now all you have to do is just join across here like this. Okay, I'm not gonna show you guys how to do that because sewing for me is the easy part, and you should know how to do that, and I'm just showing you how to do this here. Just a quick thing though, because there's no stitches on this side here, there's only clear stitches on this other side here. I will probably just show you quickly how to do that, and then that way you know where to kind of go. Okay, so the first thing is I'm gonna take my stitch marker, let me see, I need to grab some yarn. I'm not grabbing a stitch marker, I'm grabbing a darning needle. We have so many tools we use that I confuse the names sometimes, especially after a long day of recording. I've recorded for pretty much the whole day today. So I'm just gonna cut this yarn here, put that leftover yarn away, take my darning needle, and I am just going to put my yarn through. And I make sure I cut enough that it's gonna go across, like from here to here, because you don't wanna run out in the middle of it. And at this point, I've probably taken enough that I will do this side and the other side as well, which is not bad at all. Okay, so I will just line up my stitches, like my work like this, very nice and straight. I hope you can see it. Yes, you can. I remove my stitch marker here, and then I just replace that by doing a stitch. So I just grab this space here, and I make sure I grab the stitch that is the first on this side, which is right here, like that. Then I pull, like that. Then I will knot it here. Let's do a knot like that. I will do it twice to make sure it's secure. And then from here on, I just go and grab a little bit of it like this, and then line it up with the stitches on the other side. Because on the other side, we have actual stitches. It's only on the side that is facing me that we don't have stitches. And then I just go ahead and do the same thing here. I just grab enough here, go to the next stitch and pull. And you're making sure you're lining it up really well, that it's not gonna be kind of crunched in or too stretched out on one side. The main thing here is that you want to make sure you're spacing it very nice and even, and you're spacing it enough with to match up with the stitches on the other side that actually have actual stitches. And then just do this all the way across. When you get to the other side, you flip your work, you place your sleeve against the body of your sweater, and you do the same technique we did, which is to make sure you're lining it up properly so that there's enough stitches that are touching on each side, and then join the same way. Okay, so I just showed you this here. This is how you're gonna join. And by the way, the side that we're using to join is going to end up being the inside of your sweater. It's going to be the inside because we don't want any imperfections showing. So you're gonna end up flipping everything. This is gonna be the inside. This is why this is the side that I use to join this side as well, because at the end of it, that is all going to be the side that flips inwards. Okay, so I'm gonna join all the way to here, and then I will do the same on the opposite side, and then I'll come back to show you guys how it looks like and how we do the rest of the joining. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have done the two sides, or joined the two sides of the sweater. So as you can see, this is my second side that I completed here, and I have my darning needle still connected. And the reason for that is because we're gonna join that section as well. But I will remove it for now because it's gonna hinder us from just kind of working around this. So I have this side completed, and as you can see, this is the first side that we completed here. So the one thing that I do, this is gonna be the inside of our sweater. The one thing that I do is I just kind of play with where the seaming went and just kind of pull it a little bit so that it stays loose, but it looks nice the way it is here. But even though this is going to be the inside of our sweater, this is going to be the outside. As you can see, it doesn't have the seam being too visible at all. Okay, all right, so now that we have it like this, we're gonna flip it back like this. Let's put that back there. Oops, the other way, this way. Okay, like that. Gonna put this here, put that there. So as you can see, this is obviously the body of the crop top here. This is our neckline, and then this is our sleeve as it goes to the side like this. Okay, so now that we have that, and this is another thing too, just to pull this here so that it kind of lays nice and flat like this. Okay, now that that's done there, we're going to flip it like this. We're gonna be joining obviously our sleeve here and the rest of the body here. So I have this string here that will be enough to join the bottom here, but not necessarily enough to join this side. It's too short. So what I will do, oh, I have two for some reason. Okay, so we will forget these two here. I will just get a brand new long one to join to join this side here, because I would like to start from the bottom of the sleeve here and work myself like this and then go down to the other side, or vice versa, or exactly the opposite. But I don't want to start in the middle here. So I will take a long yarn again here. I'm gonna put that there, and as you can see, again, I cut it really long so that it can go all the way past like this. Okay, unfortunately I wasted a little bit of yarn here because I left it hanging, but they're too short. All right, so what we can do here then is, let's start in the bottom because I have it here. So, and make sure it's still the wrong way up, because you want to make all of your joining to stay on one side, and then when you flip your work later, you are flipping it to have the right side up. Okay, so I'm gonna put these guys inside so they don't interfere with me when I'm sewing. I'm just gonna do something like that, and then this is it here. So I'm gonna start here, join all the way to the bottom of my armpit here, and then continue all the way to here. Okay, so again, this is the sides that don't have the stitches, but I will show you guys how to do this little part that has the stitches here, cross over to the part that doesn't have stitches, just to show you how to do it, and then I will have you guys work the rest of it and then work the other side as well. Okay, so as usual, we just grab the very first stitch here and then the very first stitch on the opposite side, pull all the way, and then do a knot here, just like we did with the other side. And this knot here kind of makes it secure so that it doesn't pull out as you're sewing. Okay, and then you pretty much go here and line up your stitches. So this next stitch here is where you go next. And just to carry over my yarn here, I often loop it around like this to bring it to the other side, towards where I am going, like this. Okay, and then you go into the next stitch and pull. And again, because we have a long yarn, you're going to be doing a lot of stretches with your arms. You're going to be stretching quite a lot, which I guess is okay if you're looking to do some exercise as you work on your crochet crafts. All right, so that we go like this. Okay, so this is where we had the stitches. So we just did our 6 stitches here that we had, and now we hop right into where there's no stitches. And so we just kind of grab that there and pull. We're gonna grab a little bit of here and pull, and we're gonna grab a little bit here. And again, as you can see, I said we don't have stitches to work with, but we grab what we can. Make sure the spacing is legit, not too far apart, not too close to each other, and also not going like deep like this. You don't want to grab this much of the material. You want to just kind of grab as little as possible on top. Okay, so as you can see here, nothing very complicated in terms of joining. So you're gonna do this all the way. Make sure you're holding it very nice like this, because you will do it here and then skip over to the other side. Like you're gonna do one final one here and then right boop to the other side right here, and then just continue all the way down to the end of your sleeve here. And again, don't pull too much. Just make it loose enough so that when you do put your work flat like this, that is not wrinkling up as you do that. Okay, so go ahead and do this all the way to there, and then do the opposite side. So repeat the exact same thing on the opposite side, and when that's done, come back to the video and I will show you guys how the completed work looks. I'm gonna weave my ends as well as I'm off camera, weave all of my ends in, not including the ones for the neckline, because I'm still thinking whether I should do something on the neckline here so that it's not laying flat like that. Okay, but just do everything beside the neckline and then come back to the video. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have finished joining my sweater here. So as you can see, everything is joined. We have our sleeve here completed, the other sleeve is completed, everything is joined. Okay, so now your sweater is pretty much kind of literally ready to be worn. The only thing here is we have a neckline that is like this. It's just kind of fall flat like that. So it's up to you if you want to keep this neckline like this. If so, then just weave in your ends here from where we joined the top. And if not, what I'm gonna do is I have some yarn left, so I'm going to try to do a row of double crochet around the neckline just to kind of bring it in a little bit. And then what I will do is, if one is okay, I will stop there. If it's not, I will do more. And in this section here that has the mesh, I'm not gonna do the mesh, I'm just gonna do my double crochets across. So the mesh will not be on this row or the next row if I choose to do the double crochet on more than one row. Okay, so what I will do here is right in the top corner here, I will go ahead and do a slip. I will do a slip knot here, and then I'll go in that corner here, bring my loop back in, bring it through, and then start by doing, I'll start by doing a chain of 2, 1, 2, and then I'm gonna pretty much work my double crochets across like this. So I'm gonna go here, oops, let's go into this gap next to that right here, and then I'm gonna go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. I'm gonna go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. Okay, and I will pretty much just do double crochets around. So this is how it looks like all around. And like I said, I'm not gonna work a mesh like this, so which means where there's a chain 1, I'm gonna do a double crochet underneath, go underneath here with my hook, and then do a double crochet, do a double crochet on top of the double crochet from the previous row, do a double crochet under here, and then just repeat that all the way around. I'm gonna do 1 row, and if it doesn't look like it's okay, it's enough, I'm gonna do 2 rows. And if you end up choosing to do 2 rows, what you will do is you will come all the way here, you will have another double crochet in here, slip stitch on top of that, chain 2, turn, and then do your next row while you turn. And if you happen to want to do more than 2 rows, you will just repeat the same thing. So don't work it in a circle, work it so that you come to the beginning, you slip stitch, you chain 2, you turn, and you go back the opposite way. So, okay, I'll do 1 and then see if not 2, then I'll come back to the video. Okay, my lovelies, so I went ahead and did 2 rows of the neckline here. So as you can see, just before slip stitch there, so this is pretty much how the neckline looks like. So it just kind of pops it up a little bit like that so that it's not too flat like this. And so with the 2 rows, I think that's enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch on top of that double crochet, or the on top of the chain 2, just like that. And then I'm gonna cut the yarn here, okay, and then I will do a slip stitch and close it off. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to just weave in this end here, and then that's pretty much the end of the project. And for this here, you can now turn it inside out, because this side that you joined is gonna be the outside. So you can just go ahead and kind of flip your work so that the other side that will be a little bit on the neat side will be your inside or the outside, and then the side that you did all the joinings is going to be your outside, or the inside, sorry. Okay, so that is pretty much it here. So beside weaving in this one here, I've already weaved in everything else, so I'm gonna weave this one in here off, and then that's pretty much it. So this is how the sweater looks like. Okay, yeah, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed doing this one with me, and I hope you guys liked the project. If you have any questions or you have any comments to make about this, just leave them in the comment section below. But don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, and share as well if you have people that will be interested in this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.